Let's talk about chemical bonding. So elements combine together to form different compounds. And compounds are represented as in this particular form. So let's say you have two elements, X and Y. And when they combine together, let's say you have a certain number of units of X. So let's say we have 2 units of X combining together with 3 units of Y, and they form a particular compound. So the way you represent this is the 2 units of X that combine, the 2 ends up being a subscript after the X, and then the 3 units of Y that combine end up being written as a subscript after the Y. And this entire thing is a compound which contains 2 units of X and 3 units of Y, and that was the combination. Okay, now some examples of this would be, let's say you have carbon dioxide. Notice carefully, you have 1 unit of carbon and 2 units of oxygen. It is convention not to write, if you only have one of the particular unit, we don't write the 1 in front of the carbon. Okay, that's the convention. So we write carbon dioxide like that. However, let's say you have a compound N which has 2 nitrogens and 4 oxygens. We write that as N2O4. However, if you have only 1 nitrogen and 2 oxygens, we write that as NO2. The next thing we're going to talk about is exactly now what you see out here, this convention. These elements, these are the atoms that come together. So out here you have essentially 1 atom of carbon combining with 2 atoms of oxygen. Out here you have 2 atoms of nitrogen combining with 4 atoms of oxygen, and out here you have 1 nitrogen combining with 2 atoms of oxygen. So now the question that we have to answer out here is, how do these atoms kind of stick together? So if you imagine each of these atoms being a little circle, so let's say you have that 1 carbon out here, and you have another oxygen. Let's make the oxygen a red circle. Okay, so now the question is, how do these stay together? So of course there are 2 oxygens out here, so let's put another red circle. How do the oxygens and the carbon stay together? And that is the concept of a chemical bond, which is essentially a force of attraction that are keeping the carbon and the oxygen together, or in this case the nitrogens and the oxygens together. Okay, and there are 3 models of chemical bonding that we will explore, and I'll just go ahead and write the names of the models out here. So there are 3 models we'll look at. Model number 1 is the Lewis model. The second model we look at, and this model is the most used model, by the way. Okay, the second model we look at is called valence bond theory, and then the third model we'll look at is molecular orbital theory.